Hello, my name is Mitchell Kucera, and this is the video review of my ePortfolio. I am a non-degree seeking building leadership endorsement student through Fort Hays State University. I am currently a business teacher at Wichita North High School. I also coach football and track at North, and I actually graduated from North in 2006. I love it so much I came back. Um, as far as my goals for myself, professional goals, first and foremost, finish the endorsement program, become an assistant principal or athletic director. I have been only teaching for 3 years, so I would not be able to have an endorsement on my license. State of Kansas requires 5 years full-time teaching in order to do that, but I do have the opportunity or the ability, if the opportunity comes available, to become an athletic director, and I'd love to do that. Next goal would be long-term athletic director or building principal at Wichita North High School. Again, I graduated from North. I love North, and I'd love to be there for the remainder of my career, which is different than my next goal, where it could be become a district athletic director for USD 259, or even a upper level administrator. But I would love to work for USD 259 for the remainder of my career. It is where I went through as a student, and I believe they do treat us well as staff members. Next one would be make measured change in policies to solve some of the problems in our school system and our district. There are several problems that need to be fixed, and it would be a goal of mine to do so. Also continue education to best forward my professional endeavors. I love to read, I love to learn. The reason I continue to take classes and read on my own is because I love to read and I love to learn, and I love to advance myself. Little personal goals: I'd love to get married, have 3 to 4 children, become financially free. I'm a business-minded person, so becoming financially free is huge to me, and I love to design and build my dream home. Go to my personal leadership philosophy. A man I looked up to is John Maxwell, and one of my favorite quotes is, "Leadership's not about title, position, or flowcharts. It's about one life influencing another." And as a good leader, you need to be able to influence someone positively. There's a difference between a leadership that influences someone positively and negatively. My goal would be to influence them positively through being a servant leader and helping them to succeed as people, not only cogs in my educational machine, but also then show them that I care about them as people. Another great quote is, people do not care what you know until they know you care. And the best way to show that you care is show general interest in their life and help them succeed where they are lacking. Another central thing on good leadership is the ability to communicate clearly. The people within your organization cannot act the way you want them to act or perform without knowing the expectations, and you need to communicate that clearly to them. Last part would be, doing things right, acting with integrity, not making decisions rashly, but making decisions based on what is best for the people that I serve, not only the teachers but the students. Let's go through my program of study. I was a transition to teaching teacher, and I finished my master's in science education while I was doing that. So for the first 2 years of my career, and then this last year, the summer, the fall, and the spring, I took the required courses to have the building leadership endorsement on my license. And again, I took that before I totally realized that I wouldn't be able to get it right away. But because I love to improve and I love to learn, I decided to keep moving with my schooling. Looking at my resume, see that I have my Forte State classes on here with the Master of Science Education. Graduated in May of 2018. Before that, I went to Hastings College. I have a bachelor's in business administration and health and promotion management, but then also have training in management from the Barton School of Business at Wichita State University. The bulk of my professional career has been through USD 259 as a teacher, sub, and coach, and then a small company that did facility services called Wise & Associates. While I was at Wise & Associates, I was floor care manager, ran the floor care division, but then also was regional account manager, where I did have to hire people, train, and unfortunately fire several people, but also run basically a small business doing that. Going to teaching from there was basically motivated by my experience at Wise was I was getting people into my life as employees that were not prepared for the real world. And I believed as a teacher I could help that, but I know as an administrator I would be able to make a even greater impact, not necessarily on the day-to-day or the single skills that they would learn, but the overarching training of people to be successful individuals. Looking at my annotated bibliography, like I said before, I love to learn, I love to read, and going through this program and these classes gave me an opportunity to broaden my horizons. One article that I had to look up, because I am a football coach, I played football for 16 years, was a study between the relationship on post-concussion headache and neuropsychological testing performance in high school athletes. And it's been a big issue, the concussion issue, and it's extremely serious. Anyone who tells you the concussion issue is not serious, we do not trust that person, because it is extremely serious. And as a coach, I have the control to make sure they don't get on the field before they are healed and before they're ready. The big part I wanted to see was how a concussion affected them in the classroom, because ultimately they're student athletes. Student comes first. And it is shown that, you can have delayed reaction time and affected memory in the classroom for up to a week after a concussion. And it's been a increasingly talked about subject, but it does need to be addressed more about having the accommodations and helping these students who are our student athletes to not fall back behind. Another piece of literature that I read for a committee as an admin intern was a restorative practices handbook for teachers, basically reevaluating how we discipline students in the school and the way we solve problems, less in the more traditional way of just sending in the office, giving it attention, and that it's more of a conflict resolution style of educational discipline, and it helps the kids own up to their behaviors. Last one I did want to talk about was the Emotional Intelligence, a Practical Guide. I read this book because I am into management style and learning as much as I can about how to reach other people. Emotional Intelligence is a book that I read because it basically went through how to recognize the emotional state of other people, how to basically approach them in a way that you can help them and become more supportive as a a leader. Let's skip down to the activity forms. With the activity forms, I went through and I did the majority of my work at the secondary level because I am a secondary teacher, and so I was able to do my administrative interning at the secondary level with the 5 assistant principals that we have in the building. I was able to serve on several different committees, such as the 504 committee, the problem solving committee, go through evaluations for IEP, conference with teachers. One of the most interesting things I saw during my time, and I'll go to my secondary tab, was we had visions and goals, and we actually have committees to solve these things. As a teacher, one of the things that the veteran teachers kind of joke but warn you is it's okay to say no, and it's totally fine. But there are a lot of different committees, and I see this as an admin intern that I was kind of running and helping with that do basically help some of the biggest problems I have in the classroom. Another big thing that I didn't realize a assistant principal does is the conflict resolution, not only between students but between teachers, and helping them understand, okay, this is why the curriculum is laid out this way. This is why we have these classes set up the way they do. So as a secondary teacher, I did not see as much of the detailed stuff that, I did when I was an admin intern, and it gave me a big respect for the 5 principals we have. We have a pretty large school, so they not only have to deal with 2,300 kids, but they have to deal with 130 teachers and several dozen support staff. So between dealing with conflicts between them and making sure everybody's doing the right things, it's big. The district events I did go to, where I was a chaperone at a state deck competition, where they gave me some responsibilities as far as transportation supervision and making sure our students were safe. And then another one was I was the district representative to make sure that all the tables and all the support at state wrestling was running correctly. So, but as a secondary teacher, I was kind of used to this stuff. The area that made a big impact on me that I really wish I would have spent more time on, and if I could do it over again, I would be in elementary. I went to Woodland Elementary, which was a great experience. Miss Brown there was amazing. I was able to learn a lot. She went through budgets, and we went through teacher walkthroughs. And she talked about, family engagement, stuff that I wasn't even aware of, and the way they do practice mindful eating, and they influence keeping instruction time in the classroom. Even while the students are eating, you can talk to them about mindful eating. You could talk to them about recycling, which they have a program. You can continue to put positive messages into the minds of these students, and you don't have to just lecture at them. So one of the most impacting experiences was my elementary. I spent the majority of time at the secondary level, so my reflection, I went over a lot of it already, but I have preconceived notions about what a administrator's life was, and they were blown away. I got to experience that through my admin interning, and I learned a lot, and I gained a whole new respect for the assistant principals that I deal with every day. Thank you very much.